Good morning students. Today in this video we are going to learn the topic of independent India first 30 years. In this video we are going to learn 1947 up to 77, the first 30 years. What are the important political changes happened in our India? Economical changes occurred in our India. All these topics we are going to learn in this video. 1947 up to 64, nearly a period of 17 years we know. Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister who worked in our India. It means he was elected as Prime Minister 1947 up to 52, 1952 to 57, 1957 to 62, 1962 to 67 also. But unfortunately, Jawaharlal Nehru was passed away in the year of 1964. If we see, no CM, no Prime Minister worked nearly 17 years except our Jawaharlal Nehru, who worked as Prime Minister of India nearly 17 years. So in this time we know Jawaharlal Nehru contributed a number of reforms. He started 5-year plans in our India and he began the Green Revolution method. The same way he introduced a non-policy, the same way Panchashil. All these were the great contributions of Jawaharlal Nehru. When the independent India's role was began in 1947 onwards, what are the important incidents occurred we are going to learn. So among these, general elections. First general elections. We know first we put a question, why elections are compulsory in a country such as India which is following democracy? Because by the elections only we can give a sustainable rule to our country. Without elections, the rule of the leaders may cause for a dictatorialship. It is difficult to justice to the people without elections. That's why in the world maximum democratic countries are conducting elections for a particular period. Example, in India, France, in all these, Britain, in all these countries, every 5 years once elections are held, whereas in America every 4 years, whereas in Canada every 6 years once. In this way, different countries are following different tenure, different period of years for conducting elections. But elections are conducting in all these countries regularly. In our India, first general elections were held in the year of 1952, and we know elections are conducting by Election Commission. Election Commission was appointed in 1950, and Election Commission is given autonomous status in our India. Election Commission is given autonomous status. It means the Election Commission can take decisions itself without consulting any organization and without consulting any persons, including the Prime Minister and President of India. Though election commissioners, the Chief Election Commissioner and the remaining election commissioners are appointed by President of India, they are not bound to these persons. because Election Commission is an independent organization which is given autonomous status. So we know why we have to give autonomous status to Election Commission. By giving autonomous status only, it is possible to conduct elections freely in the India without fear. That's why to conduct elections in a free and fair manner, it is compulsory of giving autonomous status to Election Commission. Of course, in our India, along with the Election Commission, the judiciary and the defense department also given the autonomous status, because depend upon the situation of the country, these organizations are taking decisions for the welfare and for the development of for the stability of the country. And we are observing the general election in our India are conducting 1952 onwards. So first general elections were held in our India 1952. And there are three types of elections we have been observing in our India. They are general elections, mid-term election, and by-election. Now we have to see what is the meaning of general election. An election is conducting by Election Commission every 5 years once with regular intervals, and for the entire country, separately for states, separately for central, separately for local bodies. These are the main features, and this type of elections are called and come under general election. So an election is conducted by Election Commission every 5 years once for all the assembly constituencies and parliamentary constituencies for every 5 years once throughout the country. Separately for state and separately for central are called general election. Whereas we have to know about the mid-term election. An election held in between two general elections by the dissolving of Lok Sabha by any reasons. It is the power of President dissolving the Lok Sabha. When the Lok Sabha is disliking the government, then government has to prove its strength. Suppose government is unable to prove its strength in Lok Sabha, then the government and the government related party members are to be resigned. In place of them, the Lok Sabha is cancelled. In place of them, new Lok Sabha will be elected by the people through the direct secret ballot. So in our India, that type of circumstances occurred in many situations in our India. In all these critical circumstances, on the advice of Prime Minister, President dissolves the Lok Sabha, and again new elections are conducting for Lok Sabha. And this type of special election occurred throughout India in order to appoint a new Lok Sabha. A special election is to be called as a mid-term election. Now we are going to observe in our India up to 2019 number of times elections were completed. Example, 17 times elections are already finished. Suppose we see first election in the year of 1952, number 2 1957, and number 3 1962, number 4 1967, fifth time 1971, and sixth time 1977, seventh time 1980, and the eighth time 1984, ninth time 1989, 10th elections 1991, 11th elections 1996, 12th elections 1998, and 13th elections 1999, 14th elections 2004, 15th elections 2009, 16th elections 2014, and the 17th elections 2019, 18th elections are going to be held approximately 2024. We have to observe here, it means 17 times already elections are experienced by our India. So in among these we are observing what are called and come under general election and which years mid-term elections. I already told you clearly, an election held throughout the country every 5 years once regularly are called general election. Suppose 1952 general, 57, 62, 67, and observe here 71, 5 years gap is not given, and here midterm election, and here 1980, 3 years only, 1984, and this is general, and this is midterm, 1991, within 2 years the government collapsed, and then 1998, 1999, and remaining all are coming under general election. It means the into mark years are considered as midterm election. And then we come to know about by-election. Like the general election or midterm election, by-elections are not conducting by election commission throughout the country. These by-elections are conducting for 1, 2 or some assembly or parliamentary constituencies on some special reasons. Example, on the particular area the elected members are resigned, or they were died, or they were murdered, or by any reason any 1 or 2 seats or some seats in any places are vacated. To fill the vacated seats, a special election held in that particular area only. These are called by-election. So in this way, in our India, general election, midterm election, by-elections are conducting, and we know it is responsibility of election commission conducting elections in our India and at various levels. Generally 3 types of political parties are participating in the election. We know those are national parties, the same way 2 state parties, and number 3 local parties. Before to know about the state party, national party, local party, what is meant by a political party first? Political party is nothing but a group of people who wanted to achieve their collective aims through power. And though their aims are not equal, not same, there is a similarity in their aims. So that type of people who have their collective aims, similar aims, all these similar aims having people collectively form into a group, and they have to contest in the election in order to achieve their aims, in order to fulfill their aims through power. So in this group of people is to be called political party, and we know number of political parties in our India. Some are national parties, some are state party. We have to see what is meant by a state party. A political party secures at least 4% of the valid votes, 4% or more than 4% valid votes in one state. So a political party which is secured 4% or more than 4% votes, valid votes in a state, in one state, is called a state party. Suppose the same state party is recognized as a state party in 4 states, is to be called national party. Example, a regional party or a state party recognized as a state party in 4 states is called national party. Suppose we see the example of national party. BJP, Congress I, CPI, CPM, Bharatiya Janata Party, Congress I Party, Communist Party of India, Communist Party of India, Marxist, all these are example for national parties. National party is also called a union party. Whereas we go to state parties, Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam Party in Tamil Nadu, All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam Party also in Tamil Nadu, whereas Telugu Desam Party and Yuvajana Shramika Raitu Congress Party in Andhra Pradesh, whereas Assam Ganaparishad in Assam and Jammu and Kashmir National Conference in Jammu and Kashmir, in all these parties are coming under state parties. Whereas some parties, those who are not securing at least 4% votes of in one state, they are considered as local parties. In this way, different parties are contesting in the election. So, in the first election, different type of experiences are received by our Indian people. It means in some areas people, they don't have idea about elections because only 14% of the people participated in the first general elections, and maximum people in our India are illiterate. That's why they don't know what is the purpose of election, why we have to participate, and what is the benefit if we exercise our right to vote. In all these things, people did not have any idea. That's why the percentage of elections, voting percentage of first elections was less than 14. And in our next video, we are going to explain some more topics of this lesson. Thank you.